Taylor has worked in recruitment in the UK and Australia. He specialises in the recruitment of senior management. How has recruitment changed over the past decade? What are the skills that you look for now that you wouldn't have looked for about a decade ago?
Sure. So I think the big change has been technology. Technology has touched just about every industry. In some industries it's shut it down. In some industries it's enhanced it and made it more profitable and more accessible, really. So that's certainly the key thing. Probably when I first started in recruitment, someone who could maybe write in HTML code or build a website was quite a rare skill. Whereas now it becomes part of a marketing person's job or part of an admin role. So those skills are now are much easier to find than they were a decade ago. Probably the changes that are coming along now are taking that to the next level, really. So instead of building websites, it's being able to create digital media type content that does fancy things on the screen to help people learn or to support different businesses. And those sort of skills are the ones that are quite difficult to find now.
So would you say that working practices are changing? And if so, how?
Yeah, I would say definitely. Certainly 10 years ago, it was a very static work environment where you would come into the office and you would do your work from 9 to 5, whereas now companies are trying to be more creative with the workspace. And this is really to encourage the sort of the next generation of workers to choose them as their employer. And so that would be things like working from your iPad in the coffee shop down the road, maybe. Or, it could be that you only need to be in the office 3 days a week as opposed to the traditional 5 days a week, and have those 2 days to work somewhere else. So agile working has become quite a popular thing with a lot of large companies, particularly companies that are running out of office space and don't have the opportunity to buy more space.
Do you think in general, not related to your employer particularly, that agile working works?
There's 2 ways of looking at this. I would say for the younger generation that is coming now, that are internet natives and that are used to being in a creative environment, I think it works very well. I think for probably the more mature workers within the organisation, it may seem quite disruptive for them. And having, not having their own set workspace, not having their own files around them all the time probably can be quite unsettling. However, it's proven to work in several organisations, from the top executives down to the junior members of staff. So there are proven examples of where it has worked.
What challenges do you see in the changes in skills required and working practices today?
Yeah, I would say the challenges, if we talk about maybe the businesses first, probably the challenge is not having all your staff in one place and seeing what they're doing. So you don't have full visibility of their productivity on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, you will see the outputs of the work that they produce, at certain points throughout the week or the month, etc. But not having all your staff in one place could possibly be quite unsettling to some businesses, particularly small business, where profits and margins are incredibly important. If maybe then we went on to workers, I would say probably the challenge for workers is maybe not having your own workstation or your own office, which a lot of people traditionally have been used to. That can be quite unsettling for some people, but I think all of these challenges can be overcome if the types of working practices that we're talking about are implemented successfully within a business.
Do you think there are any dangers to the areas of productivity, creativity and motivation with new working practices that you just outlined?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things probably that I've touched on already is not being able to see what your staff are doing all of the time. And I would say also with the increase of use in social media by businesses these days, not just the personal use of the individual, but businesses having specialists who come to work specifically on social media means that lots of people in that business will have access to that social media. So again, businesses may be concerned that whilst they can't see their staff and can't see what they're doing, that they may also just be, utilising the social media channels that that business uses for their own personal use, and so that could be quite a challenge for some organisations.
What do you think the future holds for the 21st century worker? Do you think that future will be a better place to work?
What does the future hold? Well, I'd probably be a very rich man if I was able to predict what the future is. I would like to think that the future working practices and working conditions are interesting and engaging, and I would say that people these days are having to work a lot longer. So it could well be that both you and I are still working, well into the 21st century, and so I sincerely hope that those working practices are very interesting and engaging. I think for the younger workers coming through now, and new people just starting their careers, it's important for them to find somewhere that they enjoy working and that they feel that they can make a worthy contribution. Whilst I can't exactly predict what the future will be, I would like to think that it will certainly be interesting.